Hello again. If you are here, then you are probably already aware that The Trapdoor is a claymation television programme from 1986. It features Burke, a blue fellow with eyes on top of his body, somewhat of a running theme characterised in this. His job is to keep the thing upstairs happy by fulfilling his various demands, usually food related.
Where's my breakfast?
Yes, sire, all certainly, sire.
He is accompanied by Boney, a talking skull who comes off as somewhat posh and spouts some unforgettable dialogue, such as,
I'm far too old for all this getting about. I can feel a headache coming on. Burke, look at my body!
In fact, that scene is the very reason I have a skeleton horse in Minecraft called Boney, but I digress. Also bumbling around with them is Drut, a grey, spiderish pet that often gets in the way and makes bizarre noises on his quest to devour worms. They all live in an ancient castle that has quite a distinct visual flair. Within it, of course, a trapdoor itself, which lets a whole myriad of monsters loose when left open for the characters to deal with. They come in many bizarre forms and cause all sorts of trouble for Burke and Co. The ever-talented Willie Rushton voiced the vast majority of the characters, I believe, and did a great job helping to bring this to life. The general animation work in this is so captivating. The amount of stuff going on at once is really quite something. Little creatures all milling about and doing God knows what. All in all, this show has always stayed with me. There really isn't much like it out there as far as tone, look and general atmosphere go. My introduction to it came from the ZX Spectrum game. Published by Piranha and programmed by the great Don Priestley. The Trapdoor has you play as Burke and following him upstairs as instructions. From gathering worms in a can, collecting eggs by shoving a bullet up the arse of a large magenta bird, collecting and cooking slimies with the aid of a cannon monster, to bottling up some eyeball crush using a giant spring creature with disconcerting looking lips. There are two difficulties, Learner Burke and Super Burke. Learner helps you get your bearings with the main four tasks, whereas Super Burke adds in the requirement to tidy up, which involves throwing poor old Boney and Drut down the trapdoor, and then collecting your wages. Also, ghosts will often pester you if you leave the trapdoor open, unless you feed them worms to sod off temporarily. Overall, it's a really fun game that requires a lot of planning to get shit done. I love it. It's one of my favourite games and it looks amazing in action on the humble ZX Spectrum. I've recently completed my collection of the ZX Spectrum releases. Not normally one to buy multiple versions of the same game, but I just couldn't resist with this one. Also got a couple of books over the years, and of course, gotta have the complete series 1 and 2 DVD. As I've stated before on the channel, it was due to my missus buying me this for Christmas 2023 that I got back into everything Spectrum related. It's clearly rubbed off on her too. She's an artist with her own business that I've definitely got to give a bit of a plug to on here. She drew this unique piece for me as an anniversary present last year that has pride of place on the wall. She has also created a sticker set of the Trapdoor and a Spectrum sticker. Both of these are available on our website, craftedbycolette.com. A link to the website is in the description. Of course, I've got to talk about the second game also, Through the Trapdoor, which was also created by Don Priestley. This one is harder than a hybrid of Bruce Lee and Jeff Capes, but it's still a great game. Requiring very precise movements to get through each section, I've only ever beaten it by cheating and using pokes. Maybe one day I'll get through it legitimately, maybe not. In this game, Boney gets kidnapped by a headless skeleton bat thing and ends up down the trapdoor, so Burke and Drut team up to rescue him. This is still a very impressive game to look at, and some of the monster designs are something truly special. But it really isn't for the faint-hearted. The Trapdoor will always hold a special place in my heart, and I just had to make this video about it. It's weird and wonderful, and if you've never heard of it before, I'd highly recommend looking into it further and playing these games. Well, that's a lot. See you later.